What is going on, everybody? This is Josh back again with another video, and today's video is going to be about 911 episode 10 season 3. Every single episode that's been coming out for 911, I've been reviewing every single one because this show is really good. If you haven't seen it, you definitely need to go check it out because this show is amazing. Every single show, it makes you feel some type of way. You're either going to feel sad, you're going to feel happy, you're going to feel angry. I mean, I'm telling you, one of these episodes is going to get you into that type of feeling. And this episode does not disappoint. It still makes you feel happy, but it also does make you feel sad. So let's just talk about it. Now, during this episode, I saw a lot of stuff that it gets me mad because this actually happens to me in real life. I'm sure it happens to you, especially during the holidays, especially during Black Friday. You know, there's always something happening to you when you're trying to go shop and either you're buying something for Black Friday or you're shopping for just some Christmas gifts. You are going to deal with these type of people, and in this episode, you're going to see a lot of them. Now, I'm leaving kind of like this whole space open right here because, every time I review a TV show, I always end up putting up clips up here. Now, the main reason why I still do that is because I hear other people's reviews and I see their stuff and they try to explain like the whole plot or the whole scene. But for some reason, I just can't picture it. I'm the type where you got to show me what it looks like. So I'm hoping with me showing you this little clip, you'll kind of get an understanding of what I'm talking about, where we're at. And basically, I'm going to throw out some good stuff in this, a lot of spoilers. That way you can get to know what's happening with this episode. So if you haven't seen this, make sure you don't watch this video because I am going to drop some spoilers. So in the beginning, this is probably one of those things that you probably have to deal with when you're out there shopping. Now, you got this lady it looks like she's patiently waiting for this guy to back up and, get out of the parking spot. Right when she does that, some douchebag basically just comes in, takes that parking spot. He basically looks at her, gives her a smirk, and just walks off. And, this lady's driving a minivan, so you can tell that she's kind of like one of those nice ladies, but you can also tell that if you push her, she's going to end up being that one that you do not want to piss off. So she ends up going into the mall and people are just rude in this whole episode. She's trying to get into the door and right away people are just bumping into her and they don't even say excuse me. And I know for a fact that this happens to me during holiday season and maybe even on a regular basis. People just do this to you and it's disrespectful. This lady walks into the building. It looks like she's trying to find a certain toy for her kid. She asks the guy for help. Now, if you deal with like people at Walmart and you ask them for help, they basically just blow you off. They walk away from you. They don't listen to you. They tell you, oh, it's on this aisle, and they don't let you know what aisle, exactly where that aisle is. And when you end up going to that aisle, it turns out it's not even there. So in this case, she's asking one of the guys, where's this toy at? The guy tells her it's in aisle 7. Right when she goes to that aisle, people just start bumping into her. They start just running to that toy. It's like a baby duck or a duck that just dances. And she's actually able to get her hands on one, even though everybody's just pushing her. She's able to get her hands on one. And some dude just comes behind her and just takes it out of her hand. And he's over there. It looks like he's yelling at his family, saying he's the best dad ever because he was able to get a toy. Now, finally, this lady does not have it. She ends up getting pissed off. I don't think she has mace. I really don't think it's mace or it's some type of pepper spray. I think it's something else. I'm thinking it's like hairspray or something like that. I don't know. But she ends up grabbing some mace and she ends up spraying that guy in the face to try to take that toy away. And then another lady comes up because she sees the toy ends up going to the ground. She comes up. So the one who's holding that mace bottle, she basically sprays her. And she's just going back and forth. She's spraying everybody. Even people who are just standing there, not doing nothing, not going at her. She's spraying everybody. And then you end up seeing Santa Claus come up. Now at first, you end up hearing a guy saying, get your hands up. Now right away, I thought maybe it was security. But you end up, she ends up turning around and it ends up being Santa. Now, when she saw that it was Santa, I kind of thought that she was going to, listen to him. I thought she was going to basically give him the mace because that's basically what he's wanting. And it looks like just like out of nowhere, something snaps and she sprays his ass too. Now, I thought it was kind of funny because he's trying to make it seem like he's this Santa person who's all nice and jolly, and yet he still gets sprayed in his eyes. So, of course, that's when 911 comes up. Athena comes over, and she's basically arresting the girl, and the girl's actually kind of happy because she's like, oh, well, now I can at least get this toy. Turns out, since it's going to be evidence, she's not even going to get the toy. And I just thought that beginning scene was hilarious. I'm pretty sure with me showing you this, you might find some funny parts. You might ever remember some funny parts, but I thought that this episode was hilarious, especially this one scene. And another thing that actually made this a lot more funnier was the fact that Bucky was telling this kid that this Santa Claus isn't real. Like, this guy is impersonating Santa Claus, and he was just making things worse and worse. And it was just another thing that was just adding to it and made it hilarious. Now, during this episode, you end up finding a little bit about Michael. Michael is Athena's ex-husband. He basically left her because in reality he was gay and he had a partner. So, you know, he ended up going with that guy and he left Athena. But he ends up finding a picture inside an ornament box because, you know, he's trying to set up a Christmas tree for Athena since most likely she's not going to have time to do it. He's trying to set it up, and then he actually finds an old picture of him and Athena and his 2 kids when they actually met Santa. And if you actually look at it, it was kind of funny because when you see it, it looks like the same Santa Claus that was in that picture. It looks like the same guy that got pepper sprayed. Now, of course, I'm pretty sure that's not even true or that's not even right. It just looks like it. So, back to it. Michael ends up seeing the picture and he starts feeling some type of way. Now, I'm thinking maybe he's feeling this way because he's starting to feel regret. Of course, he was with Athena. He ended up leaving her because he ends up being gay. Or he's always been gay, and supposedly Athena knew about it or not. That's all like in season 1. So he ends up seeing that picture, and you can tell he's real sad. Now, I was thinking because he's regretting everything, but you gotta wait until the very end to actually figure out why he's actually feeling this way. Now, this scene actually kind of touched my heart a little bit. You have Christopher, who's actually kind of sad because his dad has to work on Christmas. He asked Bucky if he can spend Christmas with him. Bucky has to work on Christmas. And it kind of sucks because you can actually tell that he's real sad about it because nobody's going to be there for his Christmas. And of course, if you have to work Christmas, you know exactly how that feels. So, but it does have a happy ending. I'll let you know that right now. It does have a happy ending. I'll show you that at the end of the episode. So, Maddie ends up getting a check. It looks like it was roughly for around $400,000. And it looks like it's because of all the assets that was with the marriage of her ex-husband who she killed in self-defense. And she doesn't want anything to do with it. She doesn't want any part of the money because she still feels like no matter what, he's still around, even though he's technically dead. But, you know, she ends up going to therapy and she ends up talking all about this. I'll continue to get to that in the episode, so just wait a little bit. Now, in this scene, man, I thought something bad was going to happen. So it's an airport scene. People are trying to get on the plane. This couple and his kids, they're trying to go to Hawaii, and he has golf clubs. And of course, he's trying to take those golf clubs in the airplane, but they're not going to let him do it. It has to go through the whole baggage claim, and automatically I just kept on thinking something bad is going to happen. But what happens is not what I expected. So the guy ends up having to put his golf clubs through baggage claim. It goes through that whole belt. I thought something bad was going to happen in the belt. Maybe it was going to snap off and hit somebody in the head, or, you know, something bad was going to happen. But you end up just seeing, you know, one guy and his co-worker, they're just throwing stuff inside this cart where they have to actually transport the luggage. Now, I'm actually wondering, is this how these people actually handle luggage? I mean, do they actually just grab it and just throw it? Is that how it's actually done? I don't know. But this was actually happening, and you know, there's one guy, he's trying to fit everything in, and you can tell this other guy, he's being gentle with the things because he kind of feels like there's something in there that might be a present. So the guy ends up grabbing those same golf clubs and he puts it in front of the car, or in front of that little vehicle that they're going to be driving all those baggages. He accidentally puts it on the gas pedal, and that thing is just going around in circles. Now, of course, that same guy who those clubs belong to, he realizes that those are actually his clubs. And you can tell he's more panicked about his clubs rather than what's actually going on with the people. That one guy who was being real fragile with the packages, he's able to get inside his own little vehicle, and he ends up kind of like hitting that car, trying to stop it. But he gets in the way of the airplane. And you know, with those airplanes, they got those things spinning. I don't know what they're called. They're like motors, and they basically just suck up anything that's right in front of them. So it sucks up everything. Like, it sucks up the whole luggage. It sucks up those golf clubs. And it also sucks up that guy. Now, right when that happened, you get a 911 phone call. I thought that they weren't going to show this. I thought it was like, all right, this thing's going to be too gruesome. They're not going to show it. They're just going to let us know what happened. Turns out that they actually did show it, but the guy is kind of like hung in there. And I'm thinking he's dead, but he's actually making some movements. So Bobby and his team, they start taking off the belt or the fans. They take off everything, and they actually pull that guy out, and he just has like bruises and cuts, but nothing really bad. The only reason why is because those golf clubs actually saved his life, and Bucky ends up bringing him out. And that same guy who those golf clubs belong to, he ends up passing out because he just couldn't take the fact of his golf clubs are basically destroyed. Now, if you remember on my last review on the last episode that just happened, Bobby got exposed to a lot of radiation. They've been running a lot of tests on him. And from what we know, he doesn't have any type of cancer. But he starts having nosebleeds. And of course, Bobby doesn't think it's nothing serious. He thinks it's allergies or the cold season. He thinks it's something like that. I actually think it has to do with some type of cancer he may be having, but he's hiding it very well. He ends up showing test results, and, you know, those come back like he doesn't have anything. But I kind of feel like he's hiding something. Maddie is talking to her therapist, but he's basically telling Maddie that she needs to go back to the place where she killed her husband, her ex-husband. She needs to go back there because she's still holding on to him. She needs to go back there to release whatever type of hold that he may have to him. Now, Athena ends up going to sleep, and, you know, they're playing tug of war with the blanket. And I automatically thought it was Bobby. I'm thinking Bobby is there, but I'm thinking maybe he's like bleeding from his nose, and that's why he keeps on holding the blanket. Maybe he can't breathe, and that's the only way he can get a hold of Athena. Turns out the one who's actually passed out there is Michael, and he's just dead asleep. Now, of course, nothing happened between them. The only reason why Michael is there is because it looks like his doctor prescribed him some medicine where he can actually sleep, because he continues to sleepwalk. And it looks like he ended up sleepwalking into Athena's bed. Now, it does go more into the story of why all this has happened to Michael, but I'm gonna leave that just towards the very end, because I thought that last scene was emotional. So I'm gonna leave that towards the very end. Okay, so Maddie ends up going back. She ends up reliving the whole thing about her ex-husband trying to kill her. And if you actually seen this episode was intense. It does do some flashbacks that way you can kind of get a feel for it. But I think it was season 2 of when he actually came into the picture and tried to kill Maddie. And that episode was amazing. It was really, really good. I actually thought Maddie was going to die. You know, they end up going to the woods. He's chasing her, and he basically ends up getting killed by Maddie. Maddie ends up stabbing him a bunch of times, like I think like in the side, but he ends up, you know, dying. So Maddie goes over there and basically tries to tell him that, you know, she's finally done with him. She's no longer going to hold on to him. She's no longer going to deal with him. So, you know, it looks like she's actually free now. But I'm telling you, the emotion that Maddie was giving off, it was really good. It's a well-deserved round of applause, all right? And I love the flashbacks that they're giving off on this, because it shows basically everything. It's really good. If you haven't seen that episode, you need to go check it out. Now, this is another scene that I thought that was going to be really sad. Now, the kid, of course, he's talking to his mom. They're trying to plan out a whole present Christmas thing, and the mom ends up just falling down. Now, it doesn't really say what happened to her, and if it did, maybe I just missed it. It doesn't say what happened to her, but she ends up passing out on the floor. She can't breathe, and the little boy is right there trying to perform CPR. Maddie ends up picking up the phone call because she's the 911 dispatcher telling him how to perform CPR. And it was kind of crazy because you actually hear a cracking noise. I'm thinking maybe he ended up breaking one of her ribs or something. But the emotion that this little kid was giving off was really good. He was actually tearing up. Everything was really good. He looked really believable. So it was really good. Bobby and his team end up coming over and they end up helping her. And I was hoping that she did not die because they made it seem like it's just them two. Like, you know, it's the mom and the kid and that's it. There's nobody else in the picture. So if she would have passed away, he would have ended up going into foster care for Christmas. And that thing would have been devastating. So I was actually hoping that they were able to bring her back to life. And that's exactly what happens. They end up catching a post and they send him kind of like into child protective services because his mom is going to the hospital and he can't go with her. Now here's another scene with Michael. He ends up going through the mall and he's walking there and you can tell something's wrong with him. I'm thinking it's still the pills that he's taking, and I thought maybe he was just gonna go through the door and, you know, get in his car and maybe get in an accident. But he literally goes through the damn glass door. He breaks through it. It cuts him up a little bit, and they end up sending him to the hospital. And they end up actually calling Athena. And, you know, he continues to play it off like it's his medication. He's sad because it's going to be his first Christmas alone. And throughout this whole thing, it doesn't talk about his partner. So I'm wondering, are they not together anymore? Because, I mean, you did see him in season 1, and I think in season 2 you did see him, but you're not seeing him right now. So I'm thinking, did they break up? Was this something I missed? I don't know. You let me know what happened. All right, so we're getting towards the very end of the episode. I told you what was going to happen to Michael. I'll reveal that in a little bit, but it does end off on a happy note. Of course, Bobby and his team, they're working during Christmas. It sucks, but everybody showed up. Everybody from Eddie's family, which is like his grandma or his mom, and Christopher shows up, Athena shows up, Athena's kids, Michael shows up, everybody shows up, and it's a real nice moment. Everybody's happy, everybody's eating. It was really good. So I actually like that they brought that to end it off on a happy note, but that's kind of not what happens. Michael ends up telling Bobby that he actually has a tumor in his head. Now, it doesn't explain if it's fatal. He just lets him know that it's a tumor in there. And I don't know if something bad is going to happen to him. I'm hoping Michael does not die because I actually like this guy. Ever since I seen Michael, or the actor who plays as Michael, ever since I seen him in a Tyler Perry movie, The Family That Prays, ever since I seen him in that one, I fell in love with this guy's acting. He acts really good. When he's pissed off, he acts pissed off. When he's hurt, you can actually tell he's hurt. He plays a really good actor. So I'm hoping they don't kill Michael off. I'm hoping they don't kill anybody off. But you know how 911 is. 911 basically does a lot of stuff that makes you think, oh, they're going to end up killing this person off. They did it to Chim. They did it to Chim twice. Now, if you remember on season 1, big old metal piece went through his head. I thought he was gone when I saw that. But the way they made that look, man, it was really good. So you need to go check that out too. They made Chim, I thought Chim was going to die on that one. I thought Chim was going to die again when Maddie's husband stabbed him. And then I thought Bobby was going to die. I thought Bucky was going to die. Every single one of these people, I just thought all of them were going to die. And 911 they basically lived. Of course, they're still in this season 3. So I'm hoping they find a way to keep Michael in this because I actually like this guy a lot. Now, I'm not too sure when the next episode is coming out. This was a Christmas episode. And now I'm assuming the reason why they made it as a Christmas episode is maybe because it's going to go on like a Christmas break or something like that, or a fall break. I don't know. Maybe they're going to take a break and they're not going to show another episode until next year. So that's why they ended it off with a Christmas episode. I'm not for sure. I'm hoping they don't because I love watching this show. I love talking about it. So I'm hoping next week there's another episode of 911. If there is, you know I'm going to review that episode on this channel. So keep in tune to this channel. Don't forget to comment. Let me know if there's something you want me to check out. Don't forget to like this video. And don't forget to subscribe. Let me know how I'm doing. And I guess I'll just see you guys on the next one. Peace.